Hello there. Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 6, the finale of this limited series or season 1, not too sure. The final episode of this epic tale that takes place in the void between episodes 3 and 4. But anyways, it's here. It's on Disney Plus now, and if you're not caught up with the show, you might want to go and do that, especially if you're a fan of Star Wars. If you grew up with the prequels and have a little soft spot for them, and you liked Ewan McGregor's performance as Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're gonna like him a lot in this series. This finale managed to bring my expectation level back to where it originally was before the episodes even dropped, and I gotta be honest, the feeling that I got from this episode, I wasn't expecting it, but I kind of was. I'll explain more into it. We're about to get into the nitty gritty deep of the spoilers for Part 6 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, so stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hess Project. I'm John Odalaza, and pardon my lighting situation if you think it's bothering you or not. I had to move because there's a giant ceiling light, and it was going on my shoulders and my head for months. So I changed it up a little bit, so hopefully this works for now. It's probably going to change it a little bit soon. I'm going to need more lights. But anyways, Part 6 of Obi-Wan Kenobi is here. The show is done. Probably, maybe. I don't know. Right now, it's still just a rumor, a report that Obi-Wan Kenobi will be renewed for a second season. This episode really does... It gets me. It gets me a little bit in the goosebumps. It gets me in the feels because it's just cool. Like, it's really cool when you see Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader in this episode. It's very much like the two trilogies clashing with each other, the original and the prequel trilogy. We see Obi-Wan Kenobi in his prime, or like just after his prime, and you see Darth Vader throwing down like we've never seen him throw down before. So to see these two clash together was a really nice bridging of the gap between the trilogies, and I really appreciated that. But my biggest gripe has got to be the soundtrack. I mean, come on, it's so uninspired. It doesn't sound epic. It doesn't sound thrilling. They used songs from Star Wars past in the trailers, and then they used it maybe 2-3 times throughout this entire show for like little shots. Like Darth Vader's theme does finally play in the last shot we see him in this episode, but that whole fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, it's cool to look at, but it doesn't feel immersive. It doesn't, because the location doesn't even look very inspiring, and the music is just not inspiring at all. I think, what's her name? Natalie Holt is the composer for this show. Not to knock her, I'm sure she has done good work before, but this is just not it for me, dude. This doesn't feel Star Wars, and it doesn't feel to the caliber of something that Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader should be fighting to. But I will say the storytelling between Darth and Obi-Wan in this fight was just so good. He buries Obi-Wan with all the freaking rocks, leaves him for dead, which, he's not dead. You could sense the Force and the rubble. You know he's not dead. He gets out of that rubble, and then Obi-Wan just starts chucking rocks at him, and then he starts actually beating down on Vader, like slashing him, and I'm like, oh god, don't slash cannon, don't do it. Obi-Wan slashes the helmet of Darth Vader, and then we get a nice duality shot of Darth Vader on one side and Hayden Christensen's burnt Anakin face on the other, and it's just really like right above his mouth up. You can't really see him moving, so they did a really nice job of depicting there's literally just that much of humanity left in him. The rest is machine, it's parts, it's the dark side, it's the Sith. And it was a really nice conversation. I loved this scene. It was probably the best thing of the entire show, hands down. You cannot argue with me on this. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted, and this is what the show was basically centered around. And that's kind of my gripe with it. As amazing as this was, and it could have been even more amazing with more dynamic location and better soundtrack, but still, I really enjoyed this conflict. But as amazing as it was, it could have been more. As Vader's stumbling, you can kind of see the glow of Obi-Wan's blue lightsaber on his face, and there's like little shards of red on the Darth Vader side. And then as he continues to talk and he says, I killed Anakin, you didn't do it, and we're like the Sith now, or whatever he says. I'm paraphrasing, I already forgot. As the conversation goes, and when he says that, the red light of his lightsaber emerges, and it just floods his face, and he's just full of red and anger and rage and suffering and hatred, all that stuff, all that jazz that Yoda warned him about. I guess it's like a bittersweet victory. Like Obi-Wan says, I'm sorry I did this to you and whatnot, and then just freaking leaves him. And then Vader can't do anything. He's weakened. He's just stumbling, and he screams, Obi-Wan! Like, I guess because this is the fight that takes place between 3 and 4 before Darth Vader defeats Obi-Wan in episode 4, you kind of had to expect that maybe there was going to be a little hint of an underwhelming ending to this one. So yeah, I was kind of prepared for that, and that didn't bother me that much. I really enjoyed that scene though, when he had the half helmet ripped off and you saw Anakin, the last shard of Anakin, and that was just really cool. I really enjoyed that scene. They did a really fine job directing that fight. Other than that, the whole show just feels inconsistent. Reva got stabbed in last episode, in case you didn't know, but apparently she's good though. Like, she goes all the way to a different planet just to find Luke because she knows he's important to Obi-Wan. So she finds out he's living at the Lars homestead. Reva attacks the home at night, and it's kind of nail-biting just a little bit. Well, me just wondering that, oh my god, she's waving that lightsaber around, like, God forbid she like chops a hand off, and then we don't know the whole time in A New Hope that Owen's got a freaking mechanical arm. There's a point where Owen is just standing in front of her. He doesn't have a weapon in his hands whatsoever, and she's got her lightsaber ignited, but she's just looking at the room in front of him or behind him because she knows Luke is in there. She wants to slash him because I think she knew that was his son, and then she, like, Anakin's son, I mean, she knew that that's Anakin's son, and she wanted to get revenge in that sense, but I mean, Anakin don't know. You ain't gonna hurt him, though. Anakin don't even know. I feel like in Reva's mind, she would have hacked and slashed this aunt and uncle within a heartbeat. I feel like she would have done that. But nah, she kind of just, like, twirls the lightsaber around until she gets into the room, and then Luke escapes. She starts running after him in the dune sea of Tatooine, and then brings him back. She could not do it. She realized that she had become him, essentially. The thing that she feared throughout the entire show. So, yeah, she just brings him back. She brings Luke back to Owen and his aunt, and everything's good. It kind of just felt like a shortened version of the Leia conflict, how Leia became this plot point throughout the show that felt a little, like, unnecessary at times. Like, she got kidnapped twice. She got kidnapped twice in the show. The show doesn't do a good job at masking the conflict and making it seem like an organic thing that would have happened between episodes 3 and 4. I don't think the runtime of this show justifies the fight between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. You could have just given me a 2-hour movie of this. There's just not enough content here to justify 6 episodes. It feels like a lot of them drag and insert things that just don't need to be there. And that sucks, dude, because I was really hyped for this show. I had a lot of hopes for it, but at the end of the day, it falls very short of The Mandalorian status. The purpose of The Mandalorian was to tell this journey and tale between Din Djarin, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. And in my honest opinion, Obi-Wan just never felt like it was telling the journey or the tale of Obi-Wan during episodes 3 and 4. It kind of just felt like just things happening, and that's unfortunate that I feel that way with this show. I really do love and appreciate Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He is my favorite Jedi of all of Star Wars. I really love everything about his performances in all of the movies and in this show. He's so good. He's a gem. He needs to be in more things. He is not at fault with this show. It's, for me personally, it's the writing. It's the directing at times. It feels very uninspired. But this ending, though, it got me, though. So I guess Obi-Wan went to go say I'm sorry to Owen, and then Owen said, you want to meet him? I guess he never properly met Luke yet, so he grabs the toy that he was going to give Luke in the beginning of the series, and then he just walks up to him, and this caught me so off guard, dude. I did not expect it, but I should have expected it. He just looks at Luke and says, hello there. Like, straight up Alec Guinness, dude. And it was so heartwarming. I was freaking punching that air so hard, dude, because I did not see that coming, but I loved that moment. It's just two simple words, but it's effective. It works. And I loved it. Oh yeah, and that last scene we saw with Darth Vader, he's just completely repaired. Like, we didn't get to see him get repaired or anything. He's just totally fine. He's got a new helmet and everything. And then he's talking to a hologram of Darth Sidious, or the Emperor, I should say. And he you know how they used to cover his face a little more with the shadows of the hood? He's a little too exposed. I don't know, it felt kind of weird. Like, I was seeing way too much of the Emperor in this shot. He said something like, blah, 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 I'll serve you, master, until infinity and beyond. That's exactly what he said, word for word. And then we cut to the final shot of the show, which is Obi-Wan Kenobi riding on his camel in Tatooine on the sands, and then he sees Qui-Gon Jinn appear as a Force ghost. Wouldn't that be funny though if it was just not Liam Neeson? Like, they just deep fake some random dude who came off the street, because they can do that now. They could easily have just pulled some random dude off the street, deep fake his face to make him look like Qui-Gon Jinn, make him look like Liam Neeson, and just digitally recreate his voice. Liam Neeson could very well have not been on this set at all. It was still a really cool scene. He says, I was waiting for you to show up, master. And he was like, what took you so long? Jesus, we have much to do. And then they just walk into like this giant valley on Tatooine, and that's how the show ends. It just ends like that. So yeah, I mean, this show is more disappointing than the Book of Boba Fett, but it's better than the Book of Boba Fett, but it needed to be more, and it could have 100% been more. It should have been better than The Mandalorian, but unfortunately it wasn't. It's filled with a lot of great moments, but episode by episode, there's just too many things riddled in every episode that make me ponder and just like, what you doing? Anyways, guys, thank you for joining me on my reviews of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I had a lot of fun watching these shows and watching a Star Wars product, regardless of all the issues and stuff I may have with the show. I still have a lot of fun watching it and talking about it. So, yeah, that's what I can say about it. The biggest takeaway is, hey, it's still Star Wars. They gave us some cool stuff, and I get to think about those cool stuff in isolation. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and you might want to keep an eye out, because I will be starting another movie review marathon soon. Not a big one, but one that is relative to a new movie that's coming out called Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be reviewing the Thor films, and you can be on the lookout for my review of 2011's Thor, directed by Kenneth Branagh, and it's the first time we get to see Chris Hemsworth don the red cape and the big-ass hammer that looks so comical, but it's so dope. Anyways, guys, you might want to stick around, because there is more to come.